This hour of the Jim Leach Show is brought to you by St. John's Hospital, transforming healthcare. Welcome back to the program. We're talking with at least a couple of the candidates from Sub-District 3, the District 186 School Board race. Incumbent Jamie Sisti not able to be here with us this morning, but two others on the ballot, Blake Handley and Scott McFarland, are in the studio with us. Our next question has to do with teacher contracts. A contract negotiation period underway, likely to not be finalized until a new school board is seated, so one of these gentlemen may have to cast a vote on this. In your view, we'd like to ask the candidates, what should this contract entail? Should we be looking at the possibility of wage hikes for teachers? And also, should there be provisions built in to make it easier to get bad teachers out of the classroom? I believe this question goes first to Blake Handley.
Yes, as far as wage hikes, you're going to, I believe, have to give them, cost and living raise. That as a union person, they have that coming to them. And as far as ousting the teachers that you feel are bad more easily, yes, I believe wholeheartedly in that we should be able to look at these teachers' outlook and the way they're doing things in the classroom on a day-to-day operation, and see if they're actually giving the students what they need or if they're hindering the students. And we should be able to more easily be able to call upon that and say, we no longer want these teachers in our district.
In your view, is it too tough to fire a bad teacher now?
Yes, because of the union guidelines, but I back those guidelines because I've been a union member for 16 years. But I don't want to so much open up their contract to where we can just come in and start chopping heads easily, but I think we should be given the opportunity to look at what they've done and what they've accomplished with our students.
Scott McFarland, your thoughts on what should be in the next teacher's contract?
Sure. When I started running here, I knew that contract was coming up, so I sat down with the president of SEA, Dan Ford, and talked to him a little bit about it. I'm happy to hear, too, that IFT, IEA are both talking about basing tenure more on annual progress of their students more so than just seniority. So the teachers' union's moving towards that, too, and I think we should work with them to get that into the contract where your tenure is based on how long you've been there, but also on your AYP. They took a pay freeze last year, so they're going to be seeing some kind of increase this year for cost of living. That's going to happen. What we need to do is work with them to find the best way of doing that where we're not going to have a huge hole in our budget.
You mentioned AYP, the magic letters here for No Child Left Behind, which some people have equated to a ticking time bomb affecting schools. As the requirements get more and more stringent, more and more schools may fall into that category of a failing school. Realizing that a lot of these decisions won't be made at the local level, but still, how best should District 186 deal with what's looming ahead of these next several years through No Child Left Behind?
No Child Left Behind is a nasty terminology to me personally. I've actually been there. I was called into an all-staff meeting at the high school I was teaching at, where the superintendent came in and said, we're on the watch list and we have 1 year to get better, or the government's going to come over and take us over. So, yeah, No Child Left Behind me, I have some issues with. But when it comes to local, we need to look at the standards that are set right now and do the best we can with our students and teachers to meet those standards. Personally, I don't think that standardized tests are the way to gauge our students. But unfortunately, until policies change state and nationwide, that's what we're dealing with. So we need to give our students all the resources possible to do well there, but also to do well outside of the standardized test, because we need to be teaching these kids to be successful once they leave the district.
Blake Handley, your thoughts on No Child Left Behind?
Yes, sir. I know that it's passed down from the federal government and the state, but as a district and as a whole, I agree with what Scott has said, that we have to do what's best for our students. We have to teach the classroom and then be able to prepare them for the standardized testing. Unfortunately, that is the way they view things, and it's maybe not the best way to do that. I know that some students panic when it comes to tests. They're not very good test takers, but they're bright students. We just have to be able to balance that across the board.
We have a lot more ground to cover this morning and not much time in which to do it, so we'll continue our conversation momentarily with the candidates in Sub-District 3 for District 186. Among the issues we'll be tackling when we come back are the performance of the superintendent, Dr. Walter Milton. We'll also talk a little bit more about school facilities on the way as well. That's still ahead, so stay with us here. Just about 8:30 now, and they've got 8 complete meals under $4 at Culver's West on Wabash. Election coverage brought to you in part here by Lube Master on Stanford Avenue, where they treat yours like it was theirs. Election night, 1 week from tomorrow night. And of course, we'll have extensive coverage here on 970 WMAY. Right now, let's check in with Kirk Farah in the 970 WMAY News Center.